February 22nd, we got a heavyweight matchup between Daniel Dynamite Dubois and Joseph Parker. This fight is for Daniel Dubois' IBF World Heavyweight title, and it's going to be a pretty interesting fight if you ask me. Let's get into the tail of the tape real quick, man. This is my prediction for this fight. We got Daniel Dubois. He stands at 22 wins, 2 losses, 21 big wins by knockout. So Daniel Dubois is a big puncher. Very, very heavy hands, 95% knockout ratio, 27 years old. He's 6'5" with a 78-inch arm reach. Very big dude, solid, stocky, true heavyweight. And his both his losses came by knockout. The first one came by Joe Joyce, where, back in 2020, Joe Joyce swole his eye and he ended up quitting in the 10th round. It was a knockout, but, still, he fucked his eye up. And then Usyk knocked him out, in the 9th round. Interesting. Small Usyk was able to stop him. But what's crazy about that? I think Dubois was supposed to have stopped Usyk, man. That was people saying that was a low blow. That was not a low blow, man. I watched that thing over and over. That was a solid shot to the body. They hit Usyk with, but it is what it is, Daniel Dubois, pretty decent fighter, man. He does tend to gas out a lot, somewhat towards the end of the fight. He has underrated footwork too. I think his IQ is getting better. It's improving. Devastating power in both hands. He's loosened up a lot over his fights. He used to be a little bit more robotic. Now he's a little bit looser than usual. I guess he's gaining confidence because he's coming off of a lot of knockouts, man. He's 3 straight. All right, knocked out Jarrell Miller in 2023. Knocked out Flip Hergovic in 2024. And he knocked out Anthony Joshua the same year, last year. So Daniel Dubois, man, is feeling real good out here about himself. Getting these knockouts. And, especially after coming off that knockout from Alexander Usyk. Daniel Dubois has been busy. So he's facing Parker, though, a vet. Different animal, man. And Joseph Parker, he stands at 35 wins, 3 losses, 23 wins by knockout, 1 loss by KO. And that KO loss came at the hands of Joe Joyce. That was back in 2022. 11th round knockout. Joseph Parker has a 65% knockout ratio. Pretty, not the heaviest of punchers, not the biggest heavyweight, but, pretty decent power, He is 33 years old, 6'4" with a 76-inch arm reach. So he's a little older than Daniel Dubois. He's slightly shorter, and he has a 2-inch less reach advantage than Daniel Dubois. Joseph Parker's a vet in the game. Warrior, pretty decent chin, man. He's been dropped a few times. Joe Joyce stopped him. And he's been dropped in a few fights. Dillian White dropped him. But that doesn't mean he doesn't have a chin. He gets right back up and gets right back at it. He's a warrior. He's a dog. Lately, man, Joseph Parker himself, he's been on a tear. He has 5 straight wins, man. 5 straight. And 2 of those was knockouts, okay? 2023 is when that's when he got his win back after the knockout loss. Same with Daniel Dubois. Both of these dudes, after their knockout, they just went on a tear, bro. Daniel Dubois been on a straight knockout frenzy, and Joseph Parker, he's been on a mixed bag with his wins. You know what I mean? And he started with Jack Massey in 23. Got a UD off of that. Then he got 2 straight knockouts from Figa Opalu and Simon Keene, and then he ended up outboxing Deontay Wilder to a 12-round decision, and then Zelly Zhang, he boxed him up. 2 heavy punches, and nobody thought that Joseph Parker was going to be able to pull that off. I could have told people that, though, because Joseph Parker is one of them fighters that he uses his pedigree and his experience, man, to get him through these fights, man. And like I said, he has heart. You know, I don't put nothing past Joseph Parker, man, at all. His sneaky overhead right, and then Dan Dubois, he's susceptible to overhead rights too. You know, and Parker's sometimes it gets a little sloppy, but that's towards the end of the fight a lot. But he's a great fighter, bro. I love fighters like that. One of my favorite fights with Parker was him and both Derek Chisora fights, especially the last one, the first one. The first one was a bang. I love the first one that they had. So how does this fight go, man? I see Joseph Parker coming right at David Dubois. One thing about Joseph Parker, he's not scared of your power, bro. He's not scared of your power. Only thing is with David Dubois, this dude carry power, like serious power, man. Both hands. Parker gonna have to be a little bit more defensively responsible. He doesn't have the best of defenses, so he gonna have to sharpen it up with Dubois. But I do see him frustrating Daniel Dubois. I see him catching him with some good shots early on in the fight to get Daniel Dubois' attention. Can he hurt Dubois? Absolutely, he can. Okay, Dubois can get rattled at times, and he's known to kind of like get off his game plan a little bit. So, I see this fight going like this, bro. I see early on Joseph Parker trying to impose his will. He's gonna have to be educated with it though, because there's a definite possibility that he could get caught with something big by Daniel Dubois. And if that happens, I think Joseph Parker's chin is really good. He has a really good chin, despite being dropped. Can he handle Daniel Dubois' power? We don't know. I guess we'll find out. But I see him possibly frustrating Dubois. I could even go as far as to say he could get a knockout in this fight against Dubois. You know, might try to outbox him early on, let Dubois get frustrated and tired, and then try to go in for the kill and probably try to stop Daniel Dubois. I could see that happening. But the likelihood, the likely outcome of this fight, I think is unanimous. I think Joseph Parker takes this fight. I think Dubois is going to underestimate. He's already doing that. He's already underestimating Joseph Parker. I think he's going to go in there and try to walk Parker down, and he's going to get countered, and then it's going to frustrate him. I could possibly even see him getting rattled in there by one of them overhand rights from Parker, maybe in like the 5th, 6th round, and I could possibly see his eye getting closed up again. That's a possibility too. But more likely, I think this is going to be a boxing clinic put on by Joseph Parker to take that belt because he's been on a tear. And I think he's about to stop that KO reign of Daniel Dubois in his tracks. So I just think he's too crafty, he's too experienced, and he has good foot. He can move around much better than Daniel Dubois too. I think Dubois' gas tank is not going to hold up for 12 rounds. And if that happens, he could possibly get stopped by Parker, I say between round 7 and 10, around those times, around that. If not, if he able to stretch it to the end, I got Joseph Parker by, this could be a slugfest. I would go split decision, but definitely a decision win for Joseph Parker in this one. So I'm going with Joseph Parker to be the next IBF World Heavyweight Champion. Just my opinion and my thoughts and my prediction. Let me know what you got. Who you got in this fight between Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker coming up in February. It's Rebel Life Boxing. Catch y'all in the next one, man. And I'm out.